I went on Lexapro. That made me like rageful. Like,
Oh boy,
it was horrible. Like, and I was like, and I said,
outburst of
Yeah.
rage. Yeah,
and
not irritability, but these outbursts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I already have enough of a hard time containing my, I grew up in a loud household. I have anger.
Was there trauma growing up too?
I would say there was emotional scarring from the yelling and stuff.
So stuff you could deal with in therapy.
It was a classic Italian American household. It was in the 80s. It was loud. It was, it was a lot of, I love my parents dearly, but it was a lot of fighting. I was the only child. It was tough at times. So anyway, I was like, I got to get off Lexapro. I got to get off Lexapro. And my doctor said, okay, let's try this other thing. I forget what it's called. Forgive me. I said, okay. He goes, it's not going to induce the rage. It's not going to create, it's not going to counterbalance anxiety with depression or vice versa. He goes, but you can get these things called brain zaps.
When you withdraw.
Well,
when you come off it.
He said, if you don't take it with regularity.
Right. And you miss any, you'll get these.
Yeah, you miss a day, you get it.
So that's Effexor or Paxil or Cymbalta, you got one of those going.
So yeah,
those have terrible withdrawal associated with them.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And
Zoloft can do that too, though. So some of them, but classically Effexor and Paxil do it.
So I went on it, and sure enough, because of my road schedule and,
you'd miss some.
And traveling, I miss a day here. I take it at
Miserable.
5 p.m. one day, at 9 a.m. the next day. And I start getting brain zaps.
That's fun, isn't it? It sounds so benign when you describe it, but they're one of the most miserable things people can get.
For me, it felt like the beginning of a panic attack, where the room is kind of going like
yeah,
this.
it's just
like,
an odd,
off.
unpleasant feeling, yeah.
So I'm in L.A. It's coming around to how this pertains to you. I'm in L.A. I'm on Bobby Lee's.
Oh, yeah.
On TigerBelly.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Bobby. We're having this really intense discussion because they had just broken up.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't there. He was there. We were having this really intense discussion about relationships and monogamy, and we're sitting right across from each other and we're staring at each other. And I started having one of these things, and he's kind of going like this, and I'm like, and I don't say anything, and I'm like, okay, you've gotten this before. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Passes after like a minute. I'm cool. I get through it. We're fine. 2 days later, the night after that, I'm doing my new hour that I've been touring around with for one of the very first times at the Lyric Hyperion in LA. Show sold out. Andrew Santino comes down and opens the show, which was awesome. He's a really good friend. The party vibes were in the air, I'm like, this is great. We all go out after the show, get drunk, whatever. I wake up the next day, my voice is almost gone because after I had COVID for the second time, this thing kept happening where if I went out drinking, I'd lose my voice the next day because it would just dehydrate the shit out of me.
Irritate the codes.
Yeah, so I wake up the next day, I have no voice. I'm like, son of a bitch, I got to do Adam Carolla's podcast for the very first time, and I've never met him. This is why I said it shaves close to you. So I'm nervous, and I'm like, fuck, I got to go on. This is a big podcast, man. Like, and I don't have a voice. And I call the producer. She's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm like, okay. I go down. The anxiety's going already because I'm nervous. I get there. He's already going. I have never met him in my life. I meet him on the air. I go in, and he's like, "Oh, John, welcome to and we start talking, and he seems to take like a liking to me immediately, and we start talking, and we're talking about drinking early at the airport, and we're off to a good start, and we're laughing, whatever, right? So he's telling this story about trying to get a drink in the captain's lounge, the Admiral's Cup, whatever the fuck it's called, at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a funny story. And he's telling me the story, and brain zap starts happening. And I go, I'm just staring at him. And I'm like, okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. This happened on Bobby Lee's podcast. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And it's not stopping this time. It's not stopping. Now I can feel the literal panic attack starting because of the brain zap.
Because it doesn't stop.
And I'm literally, I start sweating. I start looking around the room to like, not like I'm like doing this, like you're him. And I'm like, yeah. And it's funny. It's funny because, you know, and I'm not calling attention to it. I'm just trying to like ride it. And I'm like, I say to myself, I'm like, you have to look at him. You're going to look fucking crazy right now. Right? So I go, in my head, I go, the good part is Adam Carolla doesn't care about you. And there are 5 other people he can look at right now. He will look at them instead of you to tell this story. Well, just like with the Ryan, or you come into the show thing, I was wrong. Adam seemed to actually like me. And I looked at him and he was
Zeroed in on you.
Yeah. And now I'm like, we're just locked eyes. Well, that's it. I can't look away. And he's telling me the story and I'm going, And dude, he's like
going in and out. Going into out of like a tunnel.
Yeah. And then my brain starts going, that's Adam Carolla, dude. Isn't that weird? You used to watch The Man Show. Remember that? Remember when you used to watch The Man Show? Remember he was on Loveline? Remember that show? That's weird.
You finally get to talk to him and you're going to fuck it up.
Yeah. That's weird. You're sitting across from this guy, right? Did you ever think you'd be sitting across from this guy? That's weird. And dude, it's fucking going.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like, you know, we're like 5 minutes in now.
Yeah.
And I turn and I start drinking water. And Drew, I swear to God, dude, I was about to say to him, and I don't know if he noticed.
He's pretty tuned in. So I'm going to guess you heard a story about me having a panic attack.
No, he didn't say anything.
Okay.
He did not call it out if he did notice.
All right.
So I don't know if he noticed. He might have noticed like this guy's acting a little weird for a minute, or maybe he didn't notice at all. I don't know. I was still staying in it and responding and stuff, but I certainly wasn't on my game for 5 minutes. And I just turned and I started drinking water, and I was about to say to him like, Adam, I'm really sorry. Like, I have to go to the bathroom. Like, I feel like I might faint. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And in that moment, it just broke. I could feel it kind of break.
Yeah.
And I just exhaled. And then I was back and I was fun and we had fun and we were laughing and we had a great time. And I left that studio and I was like, I'm never fucking taking one of these pills for as long as I live. And I was on an introductory dose for that stuff. So I was like, okay, the worst case scenario is I'll have whatever bullshit my body's going to have from going off the introductory dose. But at least I don't have to stair step down. There's nowhere to stair step down from.
Good.
So I called my doctors, and I said, I'm never taking that stuff again. I'm not taking any meds ever again. And they said, why? And I said, well, because of this. And I told them that story. And then I said, and you know what? For as good as Prozac was for me, every fucking thing came back as soon as I went off.
Oh, of course.
And I said, so I'm done. I'm going to deal with this head on. And I'm going to instate practices in my own life that are going to allow me to accept and deal with this.
Good for you.
And I have, for the most part.
That's great. Takes time. Brain changes slowly.
But I got to tell you, man, like now I had anxiety all night last night because, you know, certain things will trigger it. Like I'm coming on, you know, I was excited to come on your show. Thank you, by the way, for moving it to 9:30 a.m. because I couldn't, that was my fault.
Oh.
Because I got the days mixed up.
Okay, all good.
And I called and I was like, I'm so sorry. I thought this was Saturday. I didn't realize it was Friday. And you guys were nice enough to accommodate. But I was like, I got to be there at 9:30. I can't miss my alarm. I've never missed my alarm, but you still worry about it. And I woke up coughing at about, I went to bed around midnight, and I woke up coughing around 1:30 a.m., and then my anxiety started going. And I was like, oh my God, am I sick? And I'm like, you're not sick. Just, Jesus Christ, just relax. And then the next thing you know, you can't sleep the whole night.
Yeah.
Now, I'd rather have a night like that here and there
than the zaps. I get it.
Yeah.
I had an experience.
Sorry, that was very long-winded.
It's good. We're going to get to the stuff, the stuff of this show in a second. But I just want to say I was Years ago, I was on the Today Show. I used to do it regularly, and it was like 6 in the morning, which is 4 in the morning my time, or 3 in the morning my time, and the sleeplessness and sleep stuff makes the anxiety worse. And I was talking to Matt Lauer, and we were just the two of us on set talking about. I don't remember what the hell we were talking about, and I started having a panic attack, and I block when I have panic attack. I can't think. I just have complete blocking, and I remember. It started going, and he leaned into me, looked at me like, "Are you okay?" And I thought, "Oh, I got to get my shit together." And it passed, much like you described the thing passing. The other thing, I
was scared. By the way, I was scared it was going to happen today.
Yeah, well,
I was scared I was going to be talking to you,
Yeah.
and because of your connection to Adam,
it
was going to just trigger me again.
And if it does, so what? You know, you got to get very philosophical.
Also,
about
I thought I was on the Dr. Dre podcast.
I'm sorry to disappoint, but his picture, I
They
believe,
gotta
did I not see his picture on the wall over here? I saw the part of the mural. I think Dre was up there. If I
thought of that joke 2 days ago, and I was like, I bet 1,000 people have done this show.
It's been said.
All right.
Not on this show. Not so much on this show.
Anyway, go ahead. But no, I swear to God, I was nervous.
Yeah.
And then when they were saying, I love how open this all is. This is so good. By the way, I would do this with like Michael Rappaport. Whoever's hosting.
I'm not so sure what you get back with Mike, but
I'm very
he'd at least
transparent.
understand.
I'm an open book. But no, I love how open this is. And but like when they said today, when they were like, "Can you guys slide closer together?"
Oh yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna get fucking panicky, man. We're sitting too close, and like we're gonna lock eyes, and it's gonna freak me out.
Yeah, it's funny to these guys, but I appreciate what that. I know what that is. You know, worrying about a panic occurring makes the panic occur, which makes you more pissed and makes it's a mess.
Yeah.
I have an Adam story with panic. We were on Loveline years and years ago, and we were on a show, and this psychotic guy calls in, like really psychotic, like dangerously mentally ill. And he started talking about his medicine or something, and John Favreau was the guest. And he goes, "Hey man, you don't listen to anybody. You don't." And I was like, "No, dude, you cannot. This is somebody dangerously ill. Don't say that."
Right.
And we got in a fight.
You and Favreau.
Favreau got in a fight. Got a little bit in each other's face.
Really?
We've made up way long since. But the next show, we did shows back to back, and we do like 6 a day. We just go back, change clothes, do another way. And we did another one at the opening of the show. I had a full-on panic attack. I mean, really, just like
during the taping or before you went on?
During the taping. And I went, "Excuse me, I need a minute." And I went into my dressing room, stopped the taping. Adam comes in there and he goes, "If I have to spend 10 more fucking minutes in this studio because of you, I'm going to fucking kick your ass. Get your ass out there. I'll carry the show. Shut up. Get your shit together. I don't give a shit what you're feeling. Just get on that set." And it worked. I was able to he just screamed. And now he claims that now the way to manage all panic attacks is just bust balls on the person that's having it.
Was that his motive? Was that his motive? Was it to like, I'm going to tough love Drew out of this? Or was it literally him just being like, "Dude, stop fucking around. I don't have any time for this today"?
Very little was motivated for me.
Okay.
It was all A, intolerance of any feeling state that interrupts productivity, and B, he wanted to get the fuck out of there. And that he was always in that "I want to get the fuck out of here" mode.
Right.
That's always his mode. Especially back then. He didn't like work back then. Now he has sort of an appreciation for the work he's able to do, and that he's built his own pirate ship and stuff. But those days, anything that wasn't like fiddling with a car or doing carpentry, that was work, and he hated it. Wanted to go home.
Sure.
So